Now, some of that history the vice president is referring to is buried right here in Chicago, literally. A Chicago Architecture Center walking tour takes us to the headstones and mausoleums of some of Chicago's most influential activists, politicians, and entrepreneurs who shaped history in the 155 years since the first Juneteenth. For many Chicagoans, the Bishop Ford is just a bustling freeway through the South Side. But the man it's named for, Bishop Lewis Henry Ford.
He was the eulogist at the funeral of Emmett Till.
A funeral that would galvanize the civil rights movement on that fateful day in 1955, after Till was lynched in Mississippi.
The pictures of his corpse were then published in John Johnson's Ebony and Jet for the whole world to see, and every African American in the country was able to see what had happened.
Today, both Johnson and Ford lie in rest just next to each other inside Oakwood Cemetery in the Greater Grand Crossing community. Their final resting place is shared with so many other Chicagoans who helped write the city's and the country's history. The Chicago Architecture Center's walking tour of Oakwood Cemetery, called Civil War to Civil Rights, traces history through the people buried here. Among them, more than 4,000 Confederate military prisoners in a mass grave.
We begin at the Confederate mound, but that's not where we end. That's the end of the Civil War. And then we move into Reconstruction, the Great Migration, and the modern civil rights movement. And all the people here that were involved in all of that difficult transition for our country.
Another theme that is a part of the tour when we talk about Reconstruction is that people often have the feeling that history is always about progress. You're always moving forward, things are always getting better. But what we see in some examples on this tour is that there's often a lot of regression.
Erica Miles is one of the docents for this tour, along with Mary Jo Hogue, who wrote it. During the tours, they explained to visitors the significance of Chicago's first black mayor, Harold Washington.
He was elected mayor in 1983. And unfortunately, he passed in 1987. But if you look at what he was able to do in that span of time, it's pretty amazing.
And anti-lynching crusader and journalist Ida B. Wells.
It was, just amazing to me to learn about what she did, the time that she did it, how very dangerous it was, and how significant it was in terms of raising the awareness of what was happening to African Americans.
Also buried here, Olympic great Jesse Owens, who beat Hitler's Nazis in track and field at the 1936 Olympics. Miles explains history dates and places are important, but what she really hopes visitors can sense is the context of the time period.
We tend to mythologize these people, and we tend to make them larger than life, and we say, well, they were able to accomplish this because they were this, super human person, but that's often not the case. It's often just regular people who are rising to the challenge.
Other notables buried at Oakwoods include social services advocate Ada S. McKinley and Negro League baseball icon Ted Double Duty Radcliffe. Also buried there, U.S. Senator from Illinois Lyman Trumbull, who wrote the 13th Amendment, the Civil Rights Act, and the Freedmen's Bureau Act. The Chicago Architecture Center is offering the Civil War to Civil Rights Tour an additional 4 dates this year. You can visit our website to learn more.